charges were suspended and the suspect was released. This just in. A severe weather alert has been issued for the Brooksdale and surrounding areas, with extremely heavy rain tonight, as well as severe lightning and winds up to 40 miles per hour. Flooding is expected in some lower elevations, including the Shady River as well as Crystal Creek. If you're out on the road tonight, be very careful, as the roads are slick and visibility is extremely low. Brooksdale police are advising if you don't absolutely have to go out, it is best to simply stay at home where it's warm, dry, and safe. For KBRA Radio News, I'm Dennis McAndrews.
Yesterday was your last day. Tomorrow was too late. Each moment like your last. Leave old pictures in the past. Donate every dime you have.
Hey, that was some party last night. That speech you gave? Wow, that was impressive.
Well, thank you, Jerry. That's what happens when it comes straight from my heart. I just hope it makes a big enough impact on everyone who heard it, and that the message gets spread out to as many people as possible.
You know what we ought to do? We should take that last part you said about the Sasquatch and write it up in an article and send it out to newspapers and magazines everywhere. And think of all the online sites we could reach with it. The Bigfoot blog, Squatch Digest. There's dozens of them, man. What do you think?
Well, if you've got the time, more power to you. Here's my speech. Have at it.
Thanks.
Hey, can you grab that trash can and take it out back to the dumpster, please?
Yeah, sure thing.
But be careful out there. After all that rain last night, it's bound to be pretty slick.
Yeah, okay. Hey, what the? Oh my God! Professor? Professor, come out here, quick!
Jerry, what's the matter? Did you fall in the... What's wrong? Why, you look as white as a sheet.
Look down at the ground.
Well, I'll be.
What do you think? Maybe 20 inches long?
At least. And about 5 feet between each one, too.
And that's not all. Check out the window.
Holy guacamole! A handprint. And a big one, too.
Professor, they were standing right here. Right here, I tell you.
Yeah, they sure were. And look at the depth of the water in each one. That means they had to have been here right before it rained last night.
You mean that thing was roaming around out here while all of us were hooping it up inside? How is it nobody saw?
Remember what I said last night about how they have intelligence? Well, this one was apparently intelligent enough to duck when it passed by the window to keep us all from seeing. Either that or just nobody was looking at that particular moment. Either way, we had ourselves a mighty big visitor last night.
You can say that again. But what do you suppose drew him in? I mean, there were lots of people.
Lots of noise.
Lots of music.
And lots of... food. Yep, that's gotta be it. Why, we had steaks, burgers, fish, the works. To a Sasquatch, this place must have smelled like a regular smorgasbord. After all, the woods are only right there, about 100 feet out the back door.
Oh, this is incredible. You mean all we gotta do is just stand here with a fresh steak in our hands and yell, "Here, Squatchy, Squatchy, Squatchy," and they'll just show up?
Well, not quite that simple, but yeah, more or less.
So what do we do now? I mean, now we have one roaming around right here in our own backyard.
Well, I tell you, if that Sasquatch was brave enough to get that close to the lab with somewhere between 90 and 100 people inside, along with all the music and noise that we were making, then they're definitely not one of the more skittish ones. In fact, if I have it figured right, I'll bet you dollars to donuts they'll be back again. And if this one has the kind of personality I think it does, then we might just be looking at our very first chance to communicate with one.
You mean like a thought transfer, like you talked about last night?
That's exactly what I meant. You know, Daryl came to see me recently, and he told me he had an encounter with one over by Crystal Creek. He said it started talking to him telepathically. So maybe, just maybe, we might have a chance to have the same kind of experience here as well. I believe we can learn from them. And even more than that, I think they have a message to give us.
Messages? Like what?
Well, a message from some of the more hostile ones might be as cut and dry as "leave us alone," while others might hold a more gentle tone about them. They might even tell us something about themselves. It all depends on the personality of each particular creature, as well as the attitude of the person they're trying to communicate with. I've known of thought transfers that run from one extreme to the other, and probably everything in between, too. I've heard of some that said, "Don't worry, I won't hurt you," while another said, "If you take that picture, I'll kill you."
Wow. I guess they have different temperaments and personalities just like humans do. There's some who are generally friendly, and others would probably want to bite our heads off.
Exactly. It's just like what I said last night. They have way more human qualities than we ever realized.
Professor Dalton.
Hey, it's Captain Willis.
Good morning, Captain. That was quite a party last night. I'm glad you showed up to be a part of it. You know, we had so many people here last night, we almost ran out of... Why do I get the sudden feeling you're not here just for a social call?
I wish that's all it was. But I have some very bad news for you.
You do? What, you're not gonna shut us down again, are you?
No, it's not that. It's just,
Captain, if there's a problem, just spit it out.
Professor, take a look at this.
What's this?
It's Jennifer Sims' personal diary.
Her diary?
There's a part of it I think you should read.
Well, what in the blazes happened to it? Why, this thing looks as if it's been through a fire.
It has.
What?
Professor, Jennifer Sims was killed last night.
No way!
Oh my God.
Sad and devastating news tonight, as we have just learned of the death of Jennifer Sims. Sims, former KRQR news anchor, was killed while driving home following the grand opening celebration of the Brooksdale Bigfoot Research Lab. She was westbound on Crystal Creek Highway when she was struck by an oncoming gasoline truck which exploded into a ball of fire that was seen for several miles in every direction. The driver of the gasoline truck, 57-year-old Michael Conway of Klamath, California, was found alive but severely injured and was taken to Brooksdale Medical Center for treatment. Sims had just returned from 3 days of captivity at the hands of a Sasquatch and had joined Professor Jonathan Dalton's Bigfoot research team. Sims is survived by her husband and teenage son. Again, Jennifer Sims, dead at just 36 years of age.
This is the Sasquatch Audio Drama Series, Episode 20, The Legacy.
Morning, Jerry.
Hi, Professor.
Would you like some coffee?
Yeah, I guess so.
Son, I know it's a really tough thing to go through. But I learned something a long time ago about things like this. You can't let it drown you. I'm not saying you can't feel bad, but you can't allow it to take over every minute of your day. You still got a job to do, so it's best to set your mind to it. The best way to deal with it is to use different activities to flush out the hurt. You see, emotional pain is like poison. If you just sit and soak in it, it'll take you down quicker than quicksand, and you'll never get out of it. Pretty soon, it starts eating a hole in you. You see, what you gotta do is flush out the poison with fresh, clean water. In this case, that fresh, clean water is your daily activities plus maybe something extra. Maybe watch a comedy on television. Maybe go for a hike. Or spend some time doing some kind of service for others. However you decide to do it, eventually, the water flushes out the poison, and you're left with nothing but fresh, clean water again. It'll take time, but I promise you, it works.
Well, if that's the case, then would you like a cup of coffee? Is that one sugar or two? Would you like me to check the mail? Do you have any outgoing mail? I'll take it out. Does your truck need gas? I'll fill it up for you.
How about the food supply at home? I can go shopping for you. How about if I clean your office? I can sweep it for you. On second thought, this place isn't even dusty. In fact, it's cleaner than an operating room in here. What about the big boot displays? I can finish setting them up for you if you want. And then how about if
Whoa! Stop the runaway train, boy! Do the words overkill mean anything to you? Slow down and breathe a little. Whew. I was getting worn out just hearing all that.
I'm sorry, Professor. I'm just so desperate to get past this sinking feeling I've got. I want to hit fast forward on my life and get it over with.
I totally understand that. Nobody likes to go through it. Everybody wishes it would just end right now. But healing from this kind of thing takes time. Don't rush it, and don't force it. If you force it, it won't be real. And suddenly, somewhere down the road, all that pain will sneak up behind you and blindside you. You gotta let it happen naturally. Yes, keeping busy does help, but don't run yourself into the ground doing it. Take it slow, and do what comes naturally to you.
Thanks, Professor. I'll try to remember that. So, what's first on our to-do list for the day?
Well, seeing as how we had a visitor in our midst on Saturday night, how about we go out back and take a few pictures and maybe create a casting or two from the footprints? The sun's out, all that water's gone now, so casting should be a piece of cake.
Sure, I'm always up for that.
Okay, I'll turn on the answering machine for the phone and we'll head out there and get her done.
Hey, Leon, did you hear what happened to the new guy the boss hired to replace Jennifer Sims?
Yeah, I guess he got fired before he ever got started.
Did you hear why he got fired?
No, all I know is he was going into the boss's office to get his first assignment. And 10 minutes later he came out, cleaned out his desk, and left.
Makes me wonder if he opened his mouth about something he shouldn't have.
You mean like the truth?
Yeah, exactly. QR management isn't what it used to be when you and I first started here. They've changed. It used to be all about truth. Being first didn't matter. Image didn't matter. Not even money. The station logo used to be truth at any cost. That's like they're covering stuff up. Like that whole post office explosion. I think there was a lot more to that story than meets the eye.
Yeah, me too, man. I guess I raked Jennifer over the coals pretty good, and that's why she quit.
Hey, have you heard who they're hiring this time? Some lady named Claire O'Connor. From what I hear about her, she's a stickler for the truth.
Well, I hope so. It's been quite a while since any truth came out of this place. I hope she gives them hell and then some.
Yeah, me too, man. Well, I better get back to work. I'll see you.
Okay, man. See you later.
Jerry, come on in here. I want to show you something. I've been looking through Jennifer's diary.
Yeah? What'd you find?
Well, most of it was burned pretty badly in the fire. It's pretty much useless to us. But there's one section right in the middle that survived. And you'll be amazed at what it says. Have a seat.
Well, if this is what I think it is, then this is going to be fascinating to hear.
Well, apparently, she always carried this with her as a backup just in case her camera or recorder quit working for whatever reason. Or in this instance, just in case they got tossed aside or lost in some way. So when she was in captivity, she was able to write down everything she was experiencing. And you're right, it's fascinating.
I knew it. I just knew it. Oh, this is going to be the best captivity story since Albert Ostman. Come on, open it up. What's it say?
Now just hold your horses a minute. I'm getting to it. Some of these pages are so brittle, if we're not careful, they'll crumble right in our hands. Okay, here it is. I can just see the headlines now.
Local
renegade newscaster Jennifer Sims captured by giant hair-covered creature.
Will we ever see her again? I wonder if they're looking for me. Of course they are. They have to be, right? But do they even know I'm missing yet? Oh my God, I'm talking to myself. Didn't I read somewhere that that's the first sign of going crazy? I hope I'm not going crazy. This whole situation is already unbelievable enough without me losing it. I don't understand, though. Out of all the people who walk in the woods every day, why me? Why would they pick me? Wrong place, wrong time, maybe? I just can't imagine why I'd be interesting to a giant forest creature. And where on earth am I? When he grabbed me, I was so scared I almost passed out. I'm sure it didn't pay attention to where we were headed. He. Is it a he? I don't know for sure, but I think it's a male, so okay. He carried me for what felt like 3 hours. We must be miles from the river now. How in the world is anyone ever going to find me out here? Wherever here is. The trees are so thick I can't even see more than a few feet out in any direction. Out in the middle of nowhere, I'm alone. Well, sort of. There's no human company in sight, anyway. So this is where they live. And this is where I'm stuck. So far from home, I wouldn't be able to find my way back even if I tried. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. The reporter in me wants to stay alert and professional and fill my head with every detail. But the scared little girl wants to find a rock to crawl under and cry. Well, truthfully, crying isn't going to help. So I may as well chin up and act like an adult. Okay, I'm an adult, right? I can do this. God, who knows what they're going to do to me? No, I shouldn't think about that either. Come on, Jen, think. Think. Figure this out. Make a plan. Okay, my head's on straight again. Well, except I'm still talking to myself. But I probably shouldn't think about being crazy right now. Focus, Jennifer. Right this minute. You're a professional. Act like one. Details. Stat. Okay. There are 3 of them sitting over there. They're in a group, almost like a circle. Like a family around a campfire, except there's no fire. Looks like a male, a female, and what, a juvenile? Can I actually hear them communicating? Are they talking to each other? I don't know what else to call it. They're definitely communicating through sound, even though I can't understand them. Am I humanizing them too much? Or are they a family? Maybe I am crazy. They're eating something. I wonder what. I sure hope they're vegetarians. Oh my God, I shouldn't laugh. I really think I'm in shock, but I may as well laugh, right? Why not? You know, I've always heard people that smell a Bigfoot. That they smell like what? Wet dog and garbage or something like that? Everybody says they smell terrible. I can't smell anything though. And with my sensitive nose, I'd be overwhelmed and probably gagging if they smelled like what I've heard. But I'm glad. and they don't stink at all. Interesting. That might be one rumor debunked anyway. Just a few weeks ago, I'd never have believed any of this. But here I am. And what are they eating? I'm hungry. My stomach is growling. I probably shouldn't wish I had some of their food, right? What if it's raw skunk or beaver bladder? Ew. Uncooked beaver bladder. Yuck. Okay, any beaver bladder would be gross. Ugh, there I go again. Off topic. I've never been so disorganized in my whole life. But then again, I've never been lost in the wilderness surrounded by giant hairy creatures either. They're so huge. The male must be 9 feet tall and the female, well, at least 7. I think the one that's their child is at least as tall as me, but way bigger in build. You know, it's really strange though. As big as they are, and as threatening as they look, if I'm honest, they have a really peaceful feeling about them. They really do feel almost like a human family. A quiet family, eating together. I'm actually really amazed that I'm not afraid. The peace they exude seems to extend to the whole area here. While I have no idea why I'm here or what they want from me, I'm really beginning to feel like I'm safe, even protected. I should be freaking out and trying to run away, but instead I'm sitting here, talking to myself like a crazy person, yes, but feeling calm and totally unafraid. In fact, I really don't have any fear at all. I wish I could understand them, though. The quiet murmuring. You know, that's what it sounds like, murmuring. It's almost mesmerizing. I could fall asleep listening to them. But, oh my God, one of them is getting up. It's a female. Oh God, now that she's standing, she's even more enormous. But look how gracefully she moves. She's silent. Oh God, oh, she's coming over to me. And it looks like she has something in her hands. She's cupping her hands like she's holding water or something. I wonder what she has. Oh dear God, she's close now. I hope I'm right and she means me no harm because here she comes. Do I look at her or do I look down? Is eye contact rude to them? Yeah, only I would worry about Bigfoot eye contact etiquette when she could squash me like a bug if she wanted to. Okay, get it together, Jen. Look up. Just look up. Oh, she's kneeling. And her eyes are so peaceful. She's beautiful. Her face is almost human-like, but not quite. And those eyes, her eyes are brimming with intelligence. She has such thick brown fur. I want to touch it. Interestingly, not on her face and hands, though. It's amazing how similar they are to us, except really more gentle, I think. I can feel gentleness emanating from her. Oh, she's giving me berries to eat. I can't believe she's offering me her food. This is just unreal. Oh, I wish you could understand me. I just want to say thank you, but maybe you do understand me. I've been mumbling about being hungry, and here you are now, but no. You don't think? No. Could it be? My God, you're not violent in the least, are you? But still, I wonder, what do you want with me? There must be some reason I'm here. I wonder, do I dare touch you? Should I reach out my hand? Will you mind? Am I crazy? I'm gonna try. Okay, Jen. Slowly. Don't move too fast and scare her. There. Almost. Oh, no, she's leaving me. I was so close. I think maybe the male somehow called her away. Maybe they don't like to be touched. I don't know. I don't know anything about them. The juvenile keeps sneaking looks at me. Wonder if he's ever seen a human woman before. I wouldn't imagine they go crashing around, kidnapping human women too often. You'd think we'd heard more about it if they did, but who knows? A month ago, this was all new to me. And now look where I am. Oh, well, I may as well eat my berries and try to think about all of this more clearly. I need to pinch myself. Am I really here? Is this really happening? This is going to make such a story of all the times to lose my temper and quit my job. Although the networks are going to be fighting over this story, so I'm sure I'll get a new job. Probably my own choice, if I ever make it home again. Maybe I should just stop talking for a while and watch them quietly, instead of thinking out loud. Oh God, they probably think I'm crazy too, jabbering to myself for so long. Now, shush. Shush, Jen.
Be quiet. Listen. Just do your job. You're a professional after all. And that's all there is. The rest is burned beyond recognition.
That has got to be the most incredible, amazing, outrageous thing I've ever heard in all my life. She was right there with them, and one of them even came over to feed her? For crying out loud, man, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, she left us quite a legacy with this. It's just a shame that the rest of it got burned up. Because of the kind of person she was, I know for a fact that she wrote down everything from all 3 days she was with them. And as grateful as I am that we have this much, it's a shame that the rest got destroyed.
Yeah, whatever else went on between her and the Sasquatch family must have been stupidly incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. But unfortunately, we'll just never know.
Hi, this is Claire O'Connor. I'm just calling to confirm my appointment with Mr. Truman this morning at 10:30. Okay, I'll be there. Thank you very much.
Come in.
Hi, I'm Claire O'Connor.
Yes. Hello, Claire. It's good to meet you.
It's good to meet you as well.
Have a seat. Would you like a cup of coffee?
That would be nice, thank you.
I've heard a lot about you.
I figured you had. Any station manager worth their salt always does their homework.
Yes, that's very true, Miss O'Connor. I believe it's every reporter's responsibility to do their homework and be as thorough as possible.
I agree.
But at the same time, we have to, how can I say this, temper ourselves in what we allow as public knowledge.
You're talking about censorship, aren't you?
Oh, Miss O'Connor, censorship is such a harsh word. No, I like to think of it as preventing mass panic.
I'm very aware of what you call it, but I can assure you, the people who watch KRQR News are not children. They're grown adults who know how to handle hard news, and it's my job to give it to them, especially when it comes to things related to Bigfoot.
Miss O'Connor, I really think you should...
The logo of the station used to be Truth at Any Cost. Well, is it or isn't it? The people want the truth, no matter how hard or how horrific it might be. Honesty, Mr. Truman, just pure, simple honesty.
Claire, I really think you should leave now.
Yes, you're right, I should go. But before I do, I just want to warn you. I'm not a pushover. I'm not some scared little girl who cowers in a corner, keeping her mouth shut. I'm here to tell the truth. The public's best interest is the truth, whether you like it or not. Oh, and by the way, I also know things about you. Things that, if everybody knew, would make you, shall we say, extremely uncomfortable. You said earlier that a good reporter should do their homework and be as thorough as possible. You just didn't expect me to go digging around in your closet now, did you? It's a wonder you have room for so many fancy suits with all those skeletons in there. That's right, Mr. Truman, I know everything. So, if you happen to decide you don't like me anymore, and you get the notion to fire me, just remember, I've got a big mouth. Have a nice day.
Roger. We have a big problem, and her name is Claire O'Connor.